2-1, 2-1, 2-1, done. If you're doing Community Cup Workout 2, we're gonna be doing overhead squats, we're gonna be doing gymnastic movements, there's all kinds of good stuff. This video is going to help you get your best score in Community Cup Workout 2, regardless of which division you're in. We're gonna talk about all of the different divisions and what you need to do to maximize your score. So if you're rookie, we got you. If you're pro, we got you. This is the video for you. Let's get started. By the way, if you're doing the Community Cup workouts and you want all 3 strategy guides delivered to your email inbox totally free with all of my best tips, go to WODprep.com/cup, enter your name and email, and then I will send you all of the Community Cup videos and all of my strategy and all my tips to go with it to your inbox totally free. This workout is all about gas, no breaks. That's because you get built-in rest into this workout. It's 2-minute AMRAP, 1-minute rest, 2-minute AMRAP, 1-minute rest. And then you switch the movements a little bit. It's another 2-minute AMRAP, 1-minute rest, and then you end with a 3-minute AMRAP. What the heck does all that mean? That means you get rest in this workout. It's 9 minutes of total work with 3 full minutes of rest built into the workout. There's a few things that will help you get your best score. We're gonna go over all of them in this video, but the overall strategy, regardless of which division you're in, usually my strategy guides are all about like, hey, pace it, take it easy. Like workout 1, it was all about like, don't go too fast. This one's a little different because we have that built-in rest. 2 minutes, you can go pretty hard and then you get a 1-minute rest. It's gonna start to hurt as you get deeper in the workout and that final 3 minutes is gonna burn. But my overall strategy for this is don't pace this very much. You kind of wanna go full-ish speed, like 90 to 95%, because you get that built-in rest. When you're resting, your job, honestly, what I would say is sit down on the ground and take deep breaths. We just want to get you recovered. That's going to help you maximize the amount of effort you can put forth in each one of these little mini AMRAPs to help you get your best score. Remember, every single rep counts in this workout. So if you can get through these reps quicker and spend more time on that max effort row and spend more time on that max effort gymnastics movement, you will get a great score. Let's first start with the movement that everyone needs to do, and that's the overhead squat. When it comes to the overhead squats, some of you are probably absolutely terrified. Some of you are like, okay, I can do those. And then there's other people who are probably somewhere in the middle. So let's talk about the people who are absolutely terrified of overhead squats. Maybe just getting into that position is really difficult for you. Here's what I'd suggest. Make sure you're doing everything you possibly can before and during the workout to make the overhead squats easy. If that's the limiting factor in this workout, then we need to prioritize the limiting factor. So that means if you're not good at overhead squats, wear Olympic weightlifting shoes. That's gonna elevate your heels and make the squat easier. Wear knee sleeves. If your knees are cranky and annoying and you don't have confidence to squat without them, wear the knee sleeves. Also, if a belt helps you do overhead squats, wear a belt. I would spend a lot of extra time before this workout warming up your overhead position, doing PVC pass-throughs, banded overhead squats. We gotta make sure that your squat pattern is warm because we need to get through these overhead squats if you wanna get a good score. If you're terrified of the overhead squat and you're like, Ben, I don't even know how to get the barbell over my head, here is a little thing that can make it a little bit easier. A lot of people think you should snatch the barbell up. But if snatching for you is like scary and you don't like it, here's a quick suggestion for the people who are beginners. Just get the barbell on your shoulders, okay? And then press it to your back. Take a breath, get a nice wide grip. And if you really struggle with mobility, go even wider because that's gonna help you open up your shoulders and get that barbell back. Get a nice wide grip, put the barbell overhead, widen your feet into that squat position. And then the main thing for beginners especially, what I want you to focus on, a lot of people that do overhead squats like this, they start by bending their knees. Don't do that. Start by pressing your butt back. It's like I'm leaning forward. Then when I press my butt back, I start to bend my knees. I allow my body to lean forward and I'm actively pulling the barbell back behind me into the squat and then I stand. So again, it's butt back first. That's the key. And as I lean forward, I'm pulling the bar behind me to keep it in that good position over my feet. That is one of the biggest hacks. If you have struggled with overhead squats, it could be simply because you're doing it wrong. You're starting by bending the knees and you're like, oh, I can't do it, and you just fall. Hips back first before you bend your knees. Allow your torso to lean forward, and while it's leaning forward as much as it needs to, pull the bar back behind you. Try that with knee sleeves and ollie shoes and maybe a belt, and the overhead squats might get easier. Try it in practice before the workout, see if it helps. If it does, make sure you leave a comment and let me know. Now, if you're someone that has a little bit more proficiency, maybe you're in the intermediate division or snatches are easy, obviously a much more efficient way to get the overhead squats done more quickly is to snatch the bar up. So if level 1 is, okay, clean, press the shoulders, adjust grip, adjust your feet, get it overhead, do a squat. That's slow, but it's great for beginners like those rookies and novice people. That might be a great way to do it. Again, remember this progressions we talked about. But if you're someone who's like, dude, I can get the barbell overhead. It's a pretty light barbell. I can snatch it, no problem. Then option 2 is to power snatch, get your feet in the right position, and then same thing, get into that movement, okay? You don't have to squat snatch if you don't need to. A lot of people mess that up. So power snatch it, get your feet set, get ready, and remember, even if you're advanced, butt back first, then go into the squat. Don't go knees first. And then of course, if you're someone who's really trying to get a great score in this workout and the overhead squats and the snatches are something you're really comfortable with, obviously the best way to do this, the way that I'm gonna be doing it, unless I get really tired, is I'm gonna open with a squat snatch. That allows you to get that first rep done and you're just firing. So if you don't wanna power snatch it overhead, get to the hips, squat snatch the first rep, and I'm into my reps. And I'm locking out and I'm getting it all done. So there's the 3 different versions. You have the beginner version, you have the intermediate version, and then you have the more advanced version. Try that. And remember, if you start to get really tired and that squat snatch is getting really hard, just power snatch it, get your feet set, go into the squat. I've seen so many athletes fail the first rep because they try to do the fancy fast squat snatch and it causes you to drop the barbell. Don't be that athlete. The power snatch, set, and squat only costs a couple seconds and it's totally fine as long as you hit every single rep. Now let's talk about the rower. Again, this is a movement. These tips apply for all divisions because we all have to row. We all have to do a max effort row, and then the second triplet, we start with the row. The main things that I want to talk about with the rower is we don't have very much time here, so don't spend a lot of time fiddling with the straps. If you're going for that max effort row in the first 2 parts of the workout, and you come in here, you put your feet in, you're fiddling around, you waste like 10 seconds getting your feet strapped in, you're like, all right, I'm good, and you start rowing. You've wasted a ton of time. So what I want you to do, I would do this for the entire workout and you never touch the straps. Here's what I do. If this is all the way tight, I just want you to loosen it just a little bit on both sides so that when I transition in and out of the rower, let's say I'm overdoing something else, I come over here, I get in, I get 1 foot in, get the next foot in, I'm on the handles. And then in the other part of the workout, when we start with the row, again, we don't want to waste time undoing our feet. So let's say I finish the row, I'm done, I put it back. All I'm gonna do is kick up and lift my heel, kick up and lift my heel, and I'm off. Goal is to never touch the straps in the rower the entire workout. Get them set in the beginning, never touch them again. It's gonna save you a few seconds at least each time you use the rower, and that is gonna add up to more reps at the end. So the last point on the rower is that rollover calories count in that first part, okay? So when we end with the max effort row, you need to be pulling all the way until the bitter end, and right as that clock stops at, the last thing you do right before the beep should be 1 big pull because you get the extra 1 or 2 calories that continue to roll over as you're resting. We need to maximize those. You can get a few extra reps potentially every single time. So again, get your feet in the rower, I'm rowing, and it's like 3, 2, I don't want you to be like, okay, I'm tired, right? 3, 2, 1, and time. As long as you finish that pull and you're not continuing to pull when the time expires, you can hear that thing spinning, that flywheel spinning. I'm getting extra rollover calories. So those are the 2 tips in the rower. Don't freaking touch the straps. You don't need to. And always row to the very, very end so that you get the rollover calories. Now it's time to talk about the core movement. So depending on the level that you're in, you're either doing sit-ups, knee raises, or toes to bar. Let's start with the sit-ups. The sit-up standard is pretty cool because I get to anchor my feet, which makes it a lot easier to do a sit-up. And the other standard is I have to touch my hands behind my head, and then I touch my feet is what it says. It should say the dumbbell. I wish it did because that would actually get better reps from people, but it doesn't. It says your feet. So if we're trying to maximize the sit-ups here, I want you to make sure you're using heavy enough dumbbells. Like I would probably suggest heavier ones than this because I could move them. I want heavy dumbbells so you can really rip on them with your hip flexors. When I go to do the sit-up, I touch behind my head. It doesn't have to be full lockout, I don't think. I just touch behind my head. So I slap my hands. And then what I want you to do is I want you to throw your arms forward as you sit up. So I throw my arms forward. That gives me momentum. It's almost like kipping the sit up. And then as I do that, I just touch my feet back down. Boom. Boom. If it's just feet, that means this part counts. So I would just touch here, touch back, and really focus on throwing your arms. And I'm actively pulling with my hip flexors up on those dumbbells to lift me up. You don't have to come to your toes. It's just the feet. So really your RX sit-ups could be here. Okay, you don't have to come all the way up here. It's here, straight up, boom. And I'm just rocking through those as fast as possible. If you want to avoid monkey butt, that's a real thing. And if you're a beginner, you might not know that. Monkey butt is when you shred your butt cheeks because you're on a mat and you're moving and you'll kind of get a rash. I highly recommend sit on a pad. Sit on something so that your butt isn't on the hard rubber floor, or else when you shower later that night, you might experience your first monkey butt experience. So put something under your butt, make sure that you're on like a soft pad or something, like sit on top of an ab mat, and that's a great way to get the sit-ups done and make sure you don't get monkey butt. Okay, moving out of the rookie division, now we're going novice and beyond. It's time to get on the pull-up bar. So if you're doing hanging knee raises for your division, that means the standard here is knees just need to be over the hips. So I'm looking, it just has to be like this. It doesn't have to be all the way up here. So just remember that. This counts. And then the main thing that you guys need to remember, a lot of people can get these done pretty quickly. The standard is the heels need to pass behind the vertical plane of the pull-up bar. You don't have to have full hip extension. You don't have to have full leg extension or knee extension. I can just go like this, and I pull up, back, up, back. And as long as my heels come back here, I can keep my knees bent. I just recommend doing your knee raises like this. Don't worry about getting full extension. It just makes you work harder. Keep everything tucked. Get your heels behind the vertical plane of the bar. And remember, you only have to go just above your hips. You don't have to pull the knees all the way into the chest. Do that and you'll be able to knock these out totally fine and quickly. Now let's talk about the toes to bar. Several divisions doing the toes to bar. If toes to bar are hard for you, I highly recommend doing toes to bar singles. Singles look like this. Same standard apply. We have to start with our heels behind the bar and our toes need to touch at the same time between our hands. Here's a cheat sheet for you, is do singles. It looks like this. I jump up into a kip, swing, touch, drop. Okay, do it again. You can do singles very quickly like this. Another way that you can do it, as long as your heels start behind the bar, is I can simply jump up, swing my feet up. I come back here. I jump up, swing my feet from the back, straight back down. What that does is that eliminates the extra kip that you have to do. So it's kind of like a glide kip. I just start from behind the bar and swing my feet up. That's a good rep. Great way to do singles, and you can do it actually very quickly. Even if you're in the more advanced divisions, toes to bar singles, as long as this bar is like right at your maximum standing reach, great tip. It's gonna help you fly through the toes to bar. Obviously, if you're an athlete who can do multiple toes to bar, we don't want you to do them to the point of absolute failure and fatigue, but I really like, when I'm doing this workout, I'm doing my tuck and flick method, going really quick. Or if you can't do the tuck and flick and you need to do a longer gymnastic kip, just know the cycle time takes a little bit longer. I would recommend, just so you don't get absolutely smoked with these, if you need to break up the reps, like break it up into a little bit more than half and then a little bit less than half. So like 2 sets or descending sets. But for me, I'm gonna try to go unbroken. If I get really, really tired, I might switch to singles and do really small sets. You can still get toes to bar done very quickly and efficiently. All right, let's talk about the pulling movements. So now we're going to a section where we're gonna talk about ring rows, pull-ups, chest to bar, and even some bar muscle-ups depending on your division. If you're in the division with ring rows, one thing to note is it's really important that you don't overdo your standards. The standard calls for your body needs to be at a 45-degree angle. If you go beyond a 45-degree angle, so if you accidentally say, oh yeah, this is 45 degrees, that ring row is so much harder. This is a much easier ring row, okay? Remember, you need to touch the rings to your body, so keep that in mind, and you are not allowed to kip. Try to maintain the standard, because that's what we're all about here at WODprep. Keep your glutes tight and just focus on rowing, and make sure that your standard is exactly where it needs to be and not a centimeter more. We don't want you to have your feet way out in front, because then it makes the ring row that much harder. Okay, let's talk about the pull-ups. Lots of different divisions need the pull-ups. If you're like, oh my gosh, Ben, I can't do pull-ups, I'm gonna start with some beginner tips and then we'll get more advanced. So one thing, I was reading the rules, you are allowed to use any grip you want. So for a lot of athletes that can't do a pronated pull-up, we could do a supinated pull-up. That's like a chin up. So if you're not strong here, you might not have ever practiced doing pull-ups with your palms facing you. Try it out. For a lot of athletes, if I, jump up and I get a little bit of a kip, that's actually a lot easier to get that chin above the bar. Or even for those doing the chest to bar workout, and they're like, dude, I can hardly get my chest to the bar. Try maybe a supinated grip or even a stagger grip where one is facing you, one is away from you. That is a great little hack. Whether you're trying to get your first chin above the bar pull-up or a chest to bar pull-up, it actually works really well. So play with it in practice, but just know you are allowed to do that. As long as you have full elbow extension at the beginning of the rep, that's really gonna help. Another tip for beginners is what I don't want you to do when you hop up on the pull-up bars. Let's say this is a pull-up bar, and I go like this. I have no momentum if I just jump up right from the bottom. I have to kip and generate momentum and then maybe get my chin above the bar. That was a no rep. So what you should do, just like I've talked about in the open, and by the way, we talk about this inside of WODprep Academy a lot, along with all the other skills. If you're someone that wants to learn things like pull-ups and bar muscle-ups and all the other RX skills, I can help you. Join WODprep Academy. The links are in the description or on the screen right now. And basically you get to work with me directly. I will teach you literally how to do all the skills, and it's gonna help you level up from rookie to novice, intermediate, advanced, pro, and beyond. It's gonna help you go from scale to RX, so check it out now. So like I was saying, you want to jump in with momentum. So what I don't wanna do is hop and have a dead hang. What we wanna do is jump into a hollow body position, which looks like that. If I jump a little bit behind the bar into a hollow body position, that allows me to do one really aggressive kip swing, and then you'll feel it, you'll have a lot more momentum to do the rep, whether it's that chest to bar or just chin above the bar. Here's what it looks like. I'm behind the bar, I'm getting ready, I jump up, big swing and kip. If you do that combined with the hip pop, the pull, I have a lot of stuff on YouTube about the kipping pull-ups. And by the way, I'll send some more resources if you go sign up at wodprep.com/cup. I'll send some more pull-up resources if you're really trying to get these. But jump in with momentum, hollow, big kip, lever back, pop, and pull. Remember that hip hop. If you get the hip hop, if you really do the frog kick, as I talked about before, boom, that's gonna help you get that chest above the bar. And it might not look pretty, but if you're doing singles, it doesn't have to look pretty. Get the reps done. Obviously, if you're in the more advanced divisions and you're good at doing unbroken kipping pull-ups or butterfly pull-ups, by all means do them. But what I would say is that if you start hitting a brick wall, don't be afraid to go to quick singles, or don't be afraid to break up your sets a little bit smaller. If your rep scheme is right on the edge of your absolute max effort, don't go for that. It's gonna totally tax you. Try to break up the reps so that you're not even close to hitting a max effort set on the pull-ups, because especially when we get to the pull-ups and we're trying to hit a max effort set, trying to get as many as possible, if I just hop up and do one big set and then I have to drop and I'm sitting there and I'm trying to recover to go do another set, I would actually be better served if I just did smaller sets more quickly. You're gonna accumulate more reps that way. So let's put it all together. There's a bunch of tips I threw in there, but imagine if you're someone struggling, even in the middle of the work, you're like, dude, I can't do more pull-ups, or you're trying to get your first one. What if you did a staggered grip, big kip here? I can just tell that's a little bit easier, and it might be easier for you if you play around with your grips in practice. That might get you that pull-up rather than always trying to have your hands facing away from you. Remember, big hip hop, big initial kip. Do not be the lazy athlete that starts with absolutely no momentum. Make sure you're jumping into that big kip, and you're going to make pull-ups a lot easier for yourself. And of course, we got the grand finale. If you're in the pro division and you're doing bar muscle-ups, I love you. That's what I'm gonna be doing. Make sure, again, these might sneak up on you. You might start to burn out in that max effort set. It's okay to do singles. It's okay to go to smaller sets. If you're hanging from the bar trying to do bar muscle-ups and it's absolutely crushing you, then it's going to hurt you in that final 3-minute AMRAP. So really focus on staying below absolute max effort and try to accumulate reps. So all the same things apply. If I'm doing singles, I'm jumping into a big hollow, and a big hip hop. I'm really focusing on driving my head through to break the glass and get through that transition. These are all tips, and I've taught thousands of people inside of WODprep Academy. If you're someone that's like, dude, I want to learn bar muscle-ups one day, and you can do 7 strict pull-ups, 7 kipping chest to bar, and 7 toes to bar, I can teach you bar muscle-ups very, very quickly. You should join WODprep Academy. I love to teach you exactly how to do that. We'll work together. I'll review your videos. Literally just in the past 2 weeks, we've had like 5 or 6 people get their first bar muscle-up just from one coaching call with me. So let's do it. So go check it out if you haven't yet. And with that, that is all the strategy for all the different pieces of this crazy workout. Remember, full gas on the sprints. Don't touch the rower straps. Focus on sending your butt back in the overhead squats. And remember, big hip hop on that barbell pulling movement. Unless you're in the ring row division, don't do a hip hop, that's illegal. With that, I hope you like this video. Leave one comment below and let me know how you did in this workout. Tell me what division you're in, what score did you get? Was there anything that you learned from this video? I wanna know all about your Community Cup experience in the comments below. And remember, if you want the strategy guides for all 3 of these workouts delivered to your email inbox totally free, go to wodprep.com/cup, enter your name and email, and I will send you all of my best Community Cup resources, including some bonus videos to go along with this one.